marked through that.
There we are.
Metro and put down $4.
Okay. Okay, welcome to our coffee Zoom chat, December the 17th. We're going to talk about unique holiday traditions around the world. And I put us together a little slideshow of some things that I found that were definitely unique, and we'll just go from there and see what happens. Bing! So we're going to start with right here in the good old US of A. And although this tradition doesn't go back very far, it's definitely a craze and has been for a number of years now. And of course, it's Elf on the Shelf. And that picture on the tree is my Elf on the Shelf. You can see John and the little ornament there smiling. But we did have a lot of fun with this elf. But it actually started in 2005 when a lady named Carol, and I'll have to get her name because it was a little bit different, Carol Abersold, and she's of Scandinavian descent, and this was something that they did all the way back to the 1970s, to have a little elf made of felt, and he gets magic powers, and he appears near the 1st of December and travels around the house. Each night he leaves and he goes to the North Pole to tell Santa the behavior of the children in the house. So they get to know if they're on Santa's nice or naughty list. And you'll find in the next slide that some parents are very, very creative. These are some of the elves at work. We have one going through a car wash, one making some kind of to-do list, and one stringing popcorn and cranberries. On Facebook, there's a million examples of these elves and what they can do. But one of the secrets of the elf, they're the mischievous elves. I love the one on the top left where he has the snowman nose. But one of the things about them is if the child touches them, they lose their magic and they can't go to Santa, and I guess that's bad. We never had that problem. We usually forgot to move the elf, or the elf was forgotten where it was put and nobody could find the elf. So it was always kind of entertaining. Okay, so I think that was about it for that. The first place we're going to go is to Austria, Germany, and Hungary. And this is a horrible demon looking thing to me. His name is, hang on, guys. Oh, yeah, Krampus, of course. Oh, Krampus. He appeared the day before Christmas. So, well, before their Christmas. They would do a celebration on December 6th, and he would appear on the 5th. And bad children here in the US were always getting coal or switches in their stockings. But the visit from Krampus was a lot different. This beast-like creature would show up in order to punish the ill-behaved. So I guess it was their way of keeping the children in line during the season leading up to Christmas. But if he discovered a particularly bad child, he would bundle him into a sack and cart him away, presumably for a midnight snack. So Krampus was something that ate little children. The picture at the bottom that's actual people is from a 2015 festival in Salzburg, Austria, that they have each year. So if you Google Krampus, you will find the most horrible creatures, much like the ones pictured here, people dressed up as them in the streets at this festival that they have in numerous places across Western Europe. So, I don't know. I would have been really good. I would not want to visit from Krampus. Next, we will move on to Japan. Now, this one is probably the weirdest to me. Most of these were kind of to scare little children. Luck and it's just a big meal. and they eat Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they have to place orders 2 months in advance to have enough meals to feed all these people that want to do this. They love the Colonel's secret recipe for Christmas, and this began in 1974. The I don't know if it was the people in charge of tourism or what, but they introduced an option for visitors to have as close to a traditional Christmas meal as they could. And so they came up with Kentucky Fried Chicken and all the fixins. So that's what they do. And it's still a big deal today.
Can I interrupt you?
Yes.
My adopted granddaughter is in Japan. That's where they live. And she called, and they can't get the J-shaped peppermint candies there. You know what I mean? A peppermint candy.
Yeah.
They can't get them there. So my daughter paid $2 for these candy canes, and then they had some Christmas trees at the store that are shaped like a Christmas tree, peppermint.
Uh-huh.
Cost her $90 to send them there.
Holy
90
cow.
90 American dollars, and she couldn't find them at Amazon Japan. She usually gets things Amazon Japan, and then they get there, at a decent price. But yeah, $90 for a 2 pounds package.
That is unreal.
Can you believe it?
This next slide is not a joke. Wait, which one was next? Wales? You had Spain. Yeah, Spain. This one is not a joke. This is actually a little figurine squatting to do his business. And it's called El Cajinero. And these little figurines are part of their nativity. And I found this to be so funny and weird. It said it's the most important holiday figurine, even if it is a little bit obscene. The male figurine's name is translated to the defecator. There you go, which makes sense since the porcelain doll is squatting with his pants down. And yes, he is doing what you think he's doing. The exact legend of how this tradition got started is unknown, but legend has it that farmers would be punished with a poor crop harvest and bad fortune if they didn't include one of these little guys in their nativity scene. And today the tradition continues with Christmas markets selling old school coquinaires alongside new versions that feature famous faces such as rock stars or famous football players or even US presidents. So there you go. One theory, I did a little bit of research on it, says that it simply represents fertility and the fertilization of the earth, which yields food for us to eat. And on this account, it's a symbol of good luck and the wish for a prosperous new year and good health. Another explanation was that in local nativity scenes, he is said to represent the mischief and evil that is in all of us. Rather than denying or rejecting this natural disposition, he is a way of accepting what each of us has in common. And the view is echoed by some who see him as the contrast to the purity and good which appears in the rest of the nativity, adding a touch of balance to the whole. I don't know. I think he's not going to be part of my nativity, but it would be good for conversation.
What's the difference?
Okay.
What's the difference between the little kid and then the guy with the, I believe it's a gun?
Yeah, that's Don Quixote. That was just kind of a funny one that somebody came up with. They come in all different kinds of characters, all different kinds. They're usually human in nature, but they, like I said, they could be rock stars or football players or famous presidents, famous celebrities. Some of them were even just like this one looks like a little boy. Some of them were like an old man with a long beard. And they just all have in common that they've got their pants down. Doing their thing. Strange. Okay. We're going to move on to Wales, which this one's really odd too. they go caroling with dead horses. Now, the horses aren't actually like dead horse. It's just a horse skull. And they it's usually one person would kind of dress up a horse skull with the eyes in it that kind of look realistic, with lots of streamers and fabric and ribbons and things and different colors. And they would hold the head, and their body would be the body. And then the people around them, a group would go and sing carols. So there you go. We could do that, I guess. Might be fun. Earth kind of has this going on already with George. The Ukraine, I love this one. The 2 gold spider webs, golden glittery ones, are on my tree. I did not know that this was a thing. I thought it very odd when I inherited these from my mother-in-law. And Jeff, my husband, always said these were on his tree growing up. He had no idea why. So when I came across this tradition in the Ukraine, I was very interested, and it is cool. Christmas trees often covered in spider webs in the Ukraine. Folklore tells the story of a poor family who grew a Christmas tree from a pine cone. The children were excited about decorating their own Christmas tree, but the family was poor. And when they woke up Christmas morning, they found spiders had spun webs around the tree's branches. Today, Ukrainians dress up their trees with spider webs to welcome good luck in the coming year. So I thought that was really neat. So there's a different take. The one on the bottom right is kind of where they've taken spider webs like we have at Halloween to decorate with and just put them all over the tree, which is probably more of what it looked like with the tail going back however far. But the one above that is similar to the ones that I have. But I thought that was really cool. Kind of neat.
I think it's really weird because I have one of those.
You do?
Yes, but if I haven't had it out in a long time because I don't decorate a tree just for me. But mine is like a gold medal.
Uh-huh.
It's got a spider in the middle of it. And I thought my grandma was just weird, but she was from Sweden. So I don't know why she had it.
Yeah, that is so neat. There were some very beautiful, I mean, I don't love spiders. It's probably one of the creepiest things to me, but they were, I guess, enameled in some kind of technique and different colors on the spider's body. They had all kinds. They had metal webs with ornate spiders. They had just spiders that were larger. So if you Google it, it's really neat. Really neat. All righty. This one I found to be fantastic. Reminds me a lot of our gingerbread houses. The work that has gone into some of these is crazy. But in Mexico, you can't celebrate the holidays without radishes. And you'll see they make animals out of these radishes, people. They had buildings in some of the pictures I saw. The one in the bottom left is the Lord's Supper. Every year on December 23rd, the Mexican state of Oaxaca presents the most impressive display of carved vegetables in the world. The radishes are grown especially for this event and remain on display through Christmas Day. The miniature exhibits show the nativity scene and other events from Mexican folklore. Originally, the tradition of carving radishes was done by shopkeepers who wanted to entice people into their stores. And it's now a 3-day festival there. So this is worth looking up. They're amazing. The only thing I could really compare it to besides gingerbread houses was on this cruise that I went on once. They had taken different vegetables and melons and carved these elaborate scenes. And it is really some talent here. So I thought that was different too. In Iceland, I just don't even know where to go with this one. Another scary thing, they have the Yule cat. This is one scary kitty, the Yule cat. I won't even try to pronounce his name. It's right above the picture of the one in lights. is a huge and vicious cat from Icelandic folklore that lurks during Christmas time and eats people who have not received any new clothes to wear before Christmas Eve. It began as a threat used by farmers as an incentive for their workers to finish processing the autumn wool before Christmas. The ones who took part in the work would be rewarded with new clothes, but those who did not would get nothing and thus would be eaten by the monstrous cat. Looks a little more like a Halloween thing to me than a Christmas thing, but this one is gigantic. I put the dimensions on the slide there because it's huge. You can see the crane above it that they have to lower it down with. Wonder where they keep it when it's not Christmas. But if you look this one up, they have some pictures from old maybe storybooks, and it looks more like a fluffy kitty kind of thing, but he usually has fangs. He's baring his teeth. But they love to scare those people and children into doing things, being good. Okay. Moving on to Venezuela, getting to church for Mass on Christmas Eve has become a roller skating affair. Why walk when you can skate? Residents in Caracas, Venezuela have this custom of roller skating or rollerblading to the service. Groups, just literally thousands of people hit the streets. It was really kind of neat. But I don't know exactly where this roller skating thing came from or how far it dates back, but they skate to Mass. Our last weird, unusual thing is another scary Christmas tradition, and it's La Befana. And she's exactly what she looks like. She's like an old woman witch. But kind. As the eve of the Epiphany, parents will leave out a plate of broccoli with spiced sausage and a glass of wine for Befana. Tradition says the good witch flies around on her broom and enters houses through a chimney to deliver clothing, toys, and candy to all the good children. And on January the 6th, children will find treats and toys in their stockings. So the Christian calendar runs from December 25th through Epiphany on January 6th. So it's interesting to see all these traditions and how they come together and how they're different. Now, it's our turn to put on our thinking caps. I don't know if any of you celebrated the way some of these places have celebrated, but I started thinking when I was thinking of Elf on the Shelf, what are some of the other newer traditions that have sparked from pop culture or from technology, something like that? I have some hints there on the screen. Can you think of any, what happened? Any traditions?
I guess people decorate their car nowadays because they didn't used to have cars.
Yes. That's a good one. We recently went to my parents' house, and it's similar kind of thing. They live at the lake, and they were having a boat parade. And it's just kind of one of those flotillas where everybody puts lights all over their pontoon boats and all kinds of boats and float down the river in a parade.
I apologize for the slide issue. Apparently, you cannot temporarily unmute with the space bar if you have a PowerPoint. So, but I was gonna say the 24 hours of a Christmas story.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You'll shoot your eye out.
You'll shoot your eye. Yep. I was thinking that the travel makes it a little different, not in the so much in the recent past, but years ago we didn't go places at Christmas. You stayed at home. It was a time with family. But now that's why I put the airplane on there. In top. Okay.
Ingrid, I think you're frozen.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why Ingrid's frozen, but I think that she is frozen.
yeah, she definitely is.
Turn the page.
There you are.
You keep getting frozen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
She,
Two people baking together.
Yep.
There we go.
Vicki, what's your tradition you want to share?
well, I just remember baking every Christmas with my granny and my stepmom. Lot of bacon.
I think I'll share my favorite new tradition because I love Christmas trees. I don't know why. I've loved Christmas trees since I was a kid, and we've always gone to get trees, and that's always been my thing, including the year that I got the tree that was too big to go in the house and they had to cut the top of it out because it wouldn't fit. But last year I could not find a big Christmas tree because there's this whole Christmas tree shortage, and I have a real tree. I don't have a fake tree. And so I got 2 Christmas trees, and I have 2 Christmas trees again this year. And I think that's my new favorite thing. So I could care less about any of the other Christmas decorations, but I love my Christmas trees. So
Mhm.
What about you, Mary?
She has to unmute.
Oh, you have to unmute.
you may not want to share.
There she is.
Okay,
There.
okay. I don't know why this thing is not working. Ingrid keeps freezing. And her mouth is not moving, and then it comes on and she says that she's talking in half sentences, but I don't decorate much. I put up a nativity scene that my husband cut on a jigsaw out of 2x8, 2x10 pecan wood. And then I painted it. And then I've got some tall, skinny carolers that sit on the window shelf and a couple of Christmas trees, and that's it. It's just me, so why should I decorate?
Does it make you feel good?
Oh, really? You feel good? To me, that's work.
I
No,
decorate just for me,
Me too.
Yep.
just because I
Yep.
like it.
Me too.
I love to sit in the dark in the living room with just the Christmas tree lights on.
Yep. And this year I'm allowed to keep them on all the time.
Oh, goodness.
Yep. All night and all day.
Well, that's the end. I put all these different Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy holidays, whatever is your thing.
You froze again.
Safe and wonderful holiday season. And thanks for tuning in.
You're welcome.
I was disappointed in that there was only 4 people here.